Hello and welcome to our little corner of the internet where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals and journaling, and just about anything and everything that's going to keep you inspired, keep you engaged, keep you writing, keeping you just coming up with new thoughts, new perspectives. And another thing I think we're also doing is sort of shoring up holes in our incomplete educations. I'm speaking for myself. So more and more I'm bringing things to the channel that I've always wished that I knew more about. Things like design, materials, different kinds of writers and artists that also have ideas that feed into my journaling and my writing and my fountain pens. And to that end, we are not far from the world premiere of my video on Frankenstein, which comes out on January 23rd. Get a great look at Mary Shelley's manuscript, the writing process for Frankenstein, the story behind it, how a global catastrophe led to one of the most famous modern myths that's still telling us so much about ourselves, some 210 years or so after it was first published. Almost 210. So absolutely so proud of this video, and I can't wait to share it with you. I put so much work into it over the break. January 23rd, please mark your calendars. And I want to say hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We have a really interesting show for you tonight. I say we, but it's just me. I have a really interesting show for you tonight. I wish there were more of me. I love when people address the channel as plural. It's so great. I only wish. I saw somewhere someone was like, does his wife do his editing? And Helen does not do my editing. Helen is a fantastic camera person, though. And she also comes up with some titles now and then. And she came up with the one for tonight, Penflation. Good job, Helen. So what we're going to speak about for the majority of this evening is the Pilot Custom 823. If you've watched my channel before, then you know that I absolutely am passionate about this particular fountain pen for a myriad of reasons, some of which I'm sure we will address tonight. However, there's a bit of sticker shock out there. Sticker shock these days, as that its retail price has soared to $480. It's still commonly available, though, for as low as $285 if you know where to look, and I bet most of you do. But how much longer? How much longer will it be available like that once the price goes up? And I think that's sort of what's going to concern us this evening, and this kind of thing we're going to speak about, sort of the effects of inflation, how we're seeing it, but not from an economic point of view or even a political point of view. I leave politics out of this channel. You can make your own decisions in regards to whose fault these things are and how it all affects. But where it concerns me in this channel is where does that put the Pilot Custom 823? How do we view it now as a fountain pen? How does it fit into the hierarchy? What is the value proposition like now? What does that mean? Should we be thinking of it in a different way? Can I still enthusiastically recommend the Pilot Custom 823 at $416? These are all issues we're going to speak about this evening. Ooh, something fell. Spooky. I see a super chat. I see a super chat. Don't let me sing. Please don't. Don't let me do that. It's embarrassing. Super chat from MPJS, my friend. Hello, everyone. Tim, did you see the pictures of the future Montblanc releases? Romeo and Juliet, Bram Stoker, and Bruce Lee. Any thoughts? Thank you for the super chat. 25 is fantastic. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your generous contribution, and thanks for the great question. Hate to disappoint. I haven't seen them, but I do love the sound of it. Bruce Lee, I am a huge Bruce Lee fan. I don't know if I've ever showed it. You can almost see it in my library. Kind of over here. There's some Bruce Lee books. Very into Bruce Lee. Back when I was training martial arts for many years. And I also love his movies, let's be honest. But that sounds really exciting. They do those kind of pens mostly well, sometimes sort of over the top and comically in a way. But I'm here for it. Haven't seen it. I'm going to look after the show, though. And the other one that really interests me is Bram Stoker. Big fan of Dracula. I got this sort of Edward Gorey edition, and I read Dracula, and I really enjoyed it. It's also red velvet. It's cushy. It's very comfortable. So, yeah, big fan of those. So I will check it out. Thank you for that. Super excited. I want to say a couple words. I have some show and tell for you, too. I'll give you a hint of what arrived. If you know, you know. Do you know? Do you know? Soon you will know if you don't know. But this arrived. Super excited to share that with you. For those that listen to the show and do not watch, I like to describe things. So what I'm holding up is a red ribbon with some gold writing that says Niccolo on it and a symbol B-O in very beautiful sort of Art Nouveau script. B-O. So should be able to actually, yeah, that's right. B-O. I'm like, is it O-B? No, it's B-O. Okay. I am like shot out of a cannon this evening. I'm so excited. I love when I have a good topic, and I'm really excited to have a good show. I see a lot of lovely people in the chat. Many people join us in the chats each Tuesday night. I'm always very happy to see everyone. I feel like I'm spending time with friends. The only thing that I sort of wish, although it would be incredibly impossible, is I rather wish the chat were audio. I'd love to hear what you're speaking about, but I'd probably be just listening to you instead of me, and my job is to talk. So I wish I could enjoy the chat more. It's always fun when I do a premiere so that I can be in the chats, even though I am dreadful at it, but I try. Frankenstein will go up as a premiere. So I hope to be in the chat for that. So very, very psyched for that. Okay, I'm trying to think which I should do first. There's so much going on. I really want to talk more about the Pilot Custom 823 to you, the best and brightest audience in all of fountain pen community. Truly, you guys inspire me every day. We have so much to cover. But I think I'll do a little show and tell. Let's do some show and tell. And I'll describe it for those that listen, because I hear a lot of people just listen when they're doing things, and I don't want it to be a mystery what's going on. Okay, so this arrived, and I am so psyched. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's a thing of beauty. Niccolo, my beloved brother from Bottega Obscura, sent me another work of art. He didn't want me to share it, really, but I can't help myself. So I just love how he keeps me in journals every year. He's such a lovely guy, such an incredible artist. So let me describe what this is, also in a way to sort of delve into it further for us. In the center is a gold embossed dragon Ouroboros of sorts. It actually looks like two beasts, but it's more or less an Ouroboros with the wings on the left. But absolutely gorgeous, with sort of a tooled medallion around it and two medieval figures astride it. Beautifully rendered, and some lovely tooling all around the side, and sort of that aged effect that he gets. But let me show you the showstopper on this one, because to me, this is really what makes this gorgeous journal. Look at that. Have you ever seen this? And I know it was probably around a year ago when I was saying, can you believe how beautiful the previous one was? Oh boy, this one. Look at this. It has my initials TJS with some laurel wreaths, and the whole binding is embossed in gorgeous gold inset in. Absolutely amazing, with those spiny ridges on the back, which are also absolutely gorgeous. And then the back of this mirrors the front, that similar Ouroboros dragon with the medieval figures. But now I'm going to show you, look at the end papers. It's very Florentine, but with drops. It makes it really dreamy. It's sort of teal and blue and sapphire with green aquamarine drops. And if you open up the cover, it's absolutely amazing. Done in that Florentine style with the paper that's raked and then dipped in with gold drops. Just maybe the most gorgeous journal I've ever seen from him. Creamy white paper, very chunky paper. Beautiful finish on it. Absolutely cannot wait to dive in. Let me kind of show you in perspective. It's kind of a new size. If you look at some of the others, this is the smaller ones. It's larger than it. And then this is the big ones. It's bigger than the, or excuse me, smaller than the biggest, but biggest than the small. So it's almost like, I don't know, like a narrow A5, almost. But wow, 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 wow. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at this gold, how it shimmers. All that glitters isn't gold, but this is. So absolutely amazing. Nicolo, I love you, buddy. Thank you. So nice. You didn't have to, but I do appreciate it. I'm sure I will create amazing thoughts in this treasure box. Very hardcover. Gorgeous. So there you have it. New journal. It's now next to my screen. It's going to inspire me this whole time. I see a super chat. Thank you. From G Guard. Thank you. $5. Thank you. First time I made it live. I watch her recommend Sinners in the Gathering Storm. Brilliant. I hope you like them. Thank you for the super chat. Sinners, yes, in the Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm is my favorite adaptation of anything Churchillian, if you will. Thank you so much for your generous super chat. Thank you, thank you. Sinners is interesting. I've seen it now twice. I really love it. The Rocky Road to Dublin is in my mind forever. Every time I come home from work, my wife hears me singing it to the best of my abilities, which are not very well, but I do my best. And I guess it was about a week ago, we ran out of heat. My house is heated by propane, and they didn't deliver, so we ran out, and it was quite cold. And I put on a space heater to keep the house warm, just to make sure the plumbing would be fine. And I am so paranoid that I stayed up all night to guard the house just to make sure nothing happened, because I don't feel comfortable with space heaters on and going to bed. So I just stayed up, and I watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and then I watched Sinners, which is a great movie to watch because part of it is them trying to survive at night, and I was trying to survive at night. And then I watched Bullet Train, and they were all very, very enjoyable, with Sinners probably being the best. Kind of an eclectic collection there. But there you have it. I do see some requests for me to sing Rocky Road to Dublin. One day that may happen. Today is not that day, but thank you very much. Thank you so much. All right. So, Frankenstein, January 23rd. I want to touch on which videos came out recently. Five Notebooks Better Than the Moleskin had a fantastic reception. I have decided to embrace stationery more. Like this, it's stationery. I'm going to embrace it. I am hugging it. Yes, I am embracing you, stationery. I feel like fountain pens, inks, journals, journaling do not exist in a vacuum. We need things to write on. We need things to organize. We need things to stamp. I don't know if you know, I am now Lord of Maps. I don't know if you know that, but I am, because my daughter bought me, and I wish I could reach it. I'd show you. My daughter bought me for Christmas a book that has maps, and it comes with stamps of mountains and lakes and little houses, and you can make your own kingdoms. So I am now officially Lord of Maps. I might add that to the show. I'm Hemingway Jones, your curator of fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling, and Lord of Maps. But we have a blast, my daughter and I, together. The challenge is with stamps, rubber stamps. I think you know I love them. I have several at my disposal at any time. This is Durer's Rhinoceros. I get a lot of questions. People asking me where I can buy this. It's an Etsy seller. Go on Etsy and search Durer's Rhinoceros stamp. I'm sure it'll come up. If you need the link, I probably have it somewhere. Then I have this one, which I really like. It's quite a stamp, though. I mean, this takes up a lot of real estate. And this one's very cheeky, but I quite like it. I didn't realize that it was as cheeky as it was, because I thought it was just kind of Venetian. But hey, you know, it's kind of fun. So, stamps. Oh, and I found my Esterbrook stamp, but I don't know if I'd ever use it. But hey, I like Esterbrook. Esterbrook and Company, steel pens. Haven't used it yet. But there you have it. There you have it. So I'm a big rubber stamp guy, but I'm also Lord of Maps, in case you didn't know. And one day soon, I will share our maps. And oh yeah, what I was saying was, I'm not very good with these stamps. I tend to get a little rectangle around my stamps. I'm trying not to press so hard that the edges go down too. If you have any suggestions, I'm thinking about making a frame for them, because when I'm being Lord of Maps, I want it to be very clean. So, yeah. Lots of stationery coming up. So, thank you for the reception on the 5 notebooks. Better Than a Moleskin. I stand by all of them. I have all of them. I'm looking right at them. Here's something very interesting, and it's really going to go into tonight's conversation. Someone today said, when did you film this? Did you film this like 2 years ago and then you just released it? Because I went to Amazon and I Googled each of these, and the prices are more than what you're quoting. And I can tell you from personal experience, I went to buy a Fabriano notebook, and it wasn't $8 anymore. It was $20-something. And that, my friends, is inflation. And that is the result of tariffs. It makes things a lot more expensive, especially those that come from abroad. And these mostly come from abroad because there's not a lot of domestic paper production. So I filmed that, just so you know, probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. So many of those A6 notebooks, quite A6, but they're close to that, have doubled in price in the last month and a half. And the reason for that is January 1st changed a lot. A lot of companies were sort of absorbing tariffs and trying not to pass it on to their customers, and they had plenty of current inventory that was priced lower, and they could sell it at a fair price. But much of that is gone now. The new stuff, and now that the tariffs have really taken effect, bam, January 1st. Really going to be impactful. And it certainly was for Pilot, because Pilot aggressively raised their prices, and in a way kind of changed how we negotiate with the Pilot Custom 823, which is one of my favorite fountain pens of all time. I have it here, We celebrated its birthday last year, which was brilliant. I had a fun video on that. We'll talk about this a lot more in a few moments, but that's what's going on. That's the framework. So this week's video, I would love you to watch it. It's called A Fountain Pen Expert Tries Ballpoint Pens. So I take on ballpoint pens as a fountain pen expert and give my feelings on each. Do I launch them across the room? Do I stick them in the ceiling? Possibly, maybe. I think you'll enjoy the video because I go into history as I often do. I can't help myself. I feel like if I have an opportunity to expand the story, I have to take it. So do you get the history of some of this? You do. You do indeed. So I hope you'll enjoy it. I tried to make it fun and very light, not light, because you get a lot of history, like quickly moving, just easy to watch. So I think you'll enjoy it. Next week's video is something I'm so proud of. And some of you who have been on the channel, thank you, Sister Goldenhair, saying where you can still get some Fabrianos at the price before they were raised. Same with Pilot Custom 823, by the way. I mentioned it earlier. If you're just joining us, you can still find it out there from $285 on up, but many of our favorite shops are now listing it for $416. Okay, so next week's video is called The Fountain Pen of a Psychopath. I'm so psyched. I've been wanting to make that video for about a year, and it required me to find the right fountain pen to do so. And I finally have, and I am super excited. That's next week. The Fountain Pen of a Psychopath. Okay, time to speak about Pilot, which is really our main topic of discussion. I would have thought I would have delved into it quicker, but you know me, always gabbing away as I do. Okay. Oh, yes. This is the Pilot Custom 823. What do we have here? We have a nib of 14 karat gold. One of the most interesting and expressive nibs available. This nib, as you know, is the perfect balance of feedback and smoothness. Literally, no one does it better. It's like that James Bond song. Nobody does it better. It makes me feel bad for the rest. Oh, look at this. By the way, I'm a bad source of pronunciation on a good day, but I would say I massacred Menocene, but that's kind of what popular parlance is in the United States, like Menacing Notebook. But I was listening to a classics professor after I recorded the video, and I'm not going to do it justice this way either, but he pronounced it like something like this: Anemocine. Menocine. Something like that. But it was very pretty how he said it. He could speak ancient Greek and Menocine. I think that was it. Menocine. So, yeah, I guess my apologies to Plato and the rest of the ancient Greeks. Okay, back to the Pilot Custom 823. 14 karat gold nib. Oh, yes. It's fantastic. You really don't get hesitation. You don't get skips with this. You get a beautiful scribing noise. You get a fantastic writing experience. Excellent. You get a little bit of line variation based on the cut of the nib, if you keep it parallel to the line. Yeah, brilliant. So I'm writing, this is an Epic fountain pen, Pilot Custom 823. You can see a bit of line variation there. This beautiful 14 karat gold nib. One of the things that I love too is it has a blue feed. Beautifully crafted. And there's some other color touches too that people just skip over. This is the amber version. I guess you call it a piston. I mean, it's a piston. It's vac fill, of course. But I guess you call that a piston, right? You call this a piston knob, vac fill knob, whatever you want to call it, but it's brownish. And grip too has some color to it. So, and where I do take points off is that it doesn't have protective metal around the cap. Has a bit of brittle resin here, which could chip away rather easy. Oh, you guys are asking me which ink. I'm pretty sure this is a clay de sapphire. I have grown beyond a clay de sapphire. I'm back to using different inks. But I filled this up a few weeks back, and I am 99% sure it's a clay de sapphire, okay? So this pen, 150 millimeters, 164 posted, 131 as is, long enough to hold unposted. If nestles into my perlicule of my hand, no problem. Easy to hold, nice balance. Valve is fantastic. You can shut this off. Shut the valve off. Screw it down. It's not going to leak on an airplane or in travel as it gets jostled around. Keep it nice and open. I always stress about how much to keep it open. Has a pretty massive fill capacity. Supposed to be over 2 milliliters, but that requires kind of double dipping it, which you can do, but you have to be careful you don't squirt your friends. But it definitely is impressive in that regard. I believe it's a Pilot number 15 size nib, if memory serves. I know it comes in fine, medium, and bold. I think that's it. I don't think you can't really get them, at least here in the United States, in like medium fines or anything like a Pilot Custom Urushi. It's nice quality resin. Doesn't feel particularly plasticky. Has a nice firmness to it. Very slick. So decently crafted. So you're getting something for your $416 US. I guess I should put myself back on. I feel like I miss you guys. Hi. Of course, it's a vac fill system, as I touched on. Massive ink capacity, but it requires you to sort of pick it up, pull the piston carefully back, and do it again if you want to really fill it up. I'm usually fine with the initial fill, even if it's only half filled. That's usually plenty of ink. You can write forever with this pen and almost never run out because it is such a massive ink reservoir. I also really like, for this pen, colors like cuttlefish brown, any sort of sepia brown, brownish tint. Brilliant for this pen. I like to shine lights through it. In a lot of my reviews of this pen were shining lights through it. The nib is beautifully crafted, rendered, tuned like a fine sports car. One of the best performing nibs out there. Beautifully set. There's so much I can say. And I have said in the past, and I probably will say, that once you buy this fountain pen, you really don't need to buy any others. You certainly can. I'm sure you will. We all get curious. But you don't have to. And I think that's what's most important about this, and kind of special to me. It's that good of a writer. So I think there's two sides to this. There's the aesthetics and the writing. I used to think this pen was boring and ugly. I'm out of the boring and ugly camp, but it's certainly not my most gorgeous fountain pen. I have grown to love the globe of gold at the end of the clip and the gentle taper from sort of a elongated triangle that starts at the top ring and goes down to that globe of gold. Works well enough. Clips are kind of boring. Most people don't clip clips to anything, let alone to shirt pockets, but I do. And the gold rings are really nice. Nice gold accent at the back. It's a serviceable pen. Vac fills are almost always demonstrators. We like to show off, I guess, once we have them, that it's a vac fill. But yeah, for whatever reason, they love to make them demonstrators. This one being translucent, nearly transparent. I mean, you can see through it easily enough. So that's what you're getting with this. You're getting some other things too, I think. It usually comes packaged with a bottle of Blue Pilot ink, which I find very boring. I don't like the Blue Pilot ink. I think it looks like ballpoint ink. It's not saturated enough for me. Where Sapphire is gorgeously saturated, but the Pilot Blue is kind of boring. But it's there, and it's usually nestled in a silky satin little pillowy case with the blue ink beside it. So you're getting a nice gift package. But once again, all of this for $416. So what does that change? Well, $416 is a lot of money. It is like 33% more than the 3 and change it was. That's a big increase. And what it does is it makes it less aspirational and makes it more luxury, I think. And I think as a luxury pen, it's still a fantastic bargain. I would put this up against a Montblanc 149, 146 all day long. And it'd be hard to argue that any Montblanc is better than this pen. Different, but better. It'd be hard to argue that very many fountain pens are better than this. Pelikan, as beautiful as they are, great writing experience, also different, but better? It's different. Pelikan's got a lot going for it between you and me. Let me recognize the super chat. Erwin, my friend, how are you? Nice to hear from you. With £6 or €6, sorry. Thank you. Got the Gravitas Monster TI, smoother than the PC823 Pelikan M800 and my Montblanc 149. Great advice from you. Thanks, HA. My pleasure. And I'm glad you're enjoying that super fantastic fountain pen. Well done. Great choice. Thank you for the generous contribution. Erwin is new to the members. He's a Pen Pal member. We have a Pen Pal group for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members. I may get a letter from him written in the Gravitas Monster, which would be absolutely brilliant. Wouldn't we love that? I would love that. So, fantastic. Smoother than the 823. Yeah, I could see that because this is smooth balance with feedback, but perfectly. This is a sublime writing experience. And I think that's what makes this pen so important. But this pen is also important. It's sort of like New York City. It's expensive to go there, but you have to go at least once in your life. So that's the Pilot Custom 823. At some point, you're going to have to come out of pocket for $416 for it or less. Now, maybe at this point you pick it up secondhand, which is possible, but they're not listed very often, but they are listed because people generally hold on to them. But the difference between $330 or so and $416, besides being $80, is the fact that it's no longer the price of a really nice dinner. It's now the price of a really nice dinner and a hotel stay in the off season. You know, there's an add-on now. So it's less of an impulse buy and much more of something that you're thinking about and you're choosing. Now, maybe that makes it even more personal to you and more valuable to you, but it does change where it lies in the hierarchy. There were times, and there's a video coming up soon, in a matter of weeks, on some fountain pen bargains from a value proposition point of view. And you'll see that very soon. And I would say, okay, you could get that pen, but if you just stretch a little more, you could have the Pilot Custom 823. I can't say that anymore. Now I have to say, you could get that pen, or you could buy two of it, or you could buy the Pilot Custom 823. That is a big change, I think. Let me recognize a fantastic super chat. Thank you. $5. Bruce Lee Frying Dragons to go on sale February 18th. Ooh, I need to get those. I always need stamps. So thank you for that wonderful super chat and for the heads up. Very, very generous. I would love to have some Bruce Lee stamps for my pen pal correspondence, which I am always late on. So please just remember I'm wicked busy with the channel, but I try. Red Cedars also, $2. Thank you so much. Greetings from Minneapolis. Enjoying the show. Thank you, Red Cedars. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're having a nice time. Thank you. So, take a favorite fountain pen of mine, the Waterman Karen, which you can get in black with silver trim or black with gold trim for $216. This is now double that. Which would I recommend? Probably the Karen now, to be honest. It's just a little bit more expensive, but then I know you're going to New York. This pen is New York. You need to stand in Times Square once in your life. You need to feel this perfect balance of smoothness and feedback. So maybe the conversation between you and me is, why don't you just take the hit, add a Pilot Custom 823 and see if you want anything else. It's still that pen. It still beats pens that are $1,100, $1,200 US dollars for $400. It still has value, but slightly less. Would I feel a little better if it wasn't translucent? Maybe I would. I don't mind translucent pens. I rather like them, but I have a little bit of a hesitation when they're expensive. I don't know how you feel about it, but I generally feel that if I can see through a pen, it should be affordable. And I don't know what that preconceived notion derives from, but whenever I see something like a Visconti that's $600-700 and I can see through it, I feel like I'm not getting value. And that's silly because it's neat to see the mechanism. But for some reason, transparent things look cheaper. Just like an acrylic Stratocaster that I can see through looks cheap. Don't want it. I want swamp ash. That's what I want. Something interesting. I see a lot of love for the Karen, which is well placed. So, in a way, what this fountain pen has done is it's lost its unfair advantage. I think that's fair to say, if I can use that word twice in a sentence. It was almost very, very affordable at $300. At $416, less so. So it's no longer the slam dunk it was. It hasn't declined in quality. One of the things you're paying for with Pilot is their amazing attention to detail. Their amazing consistency with the quality of their nibs, the quality of the writing experience, the fact that they rarely fail, not that they never fail, but they rarely fail. And considering the amount of units that Pilot puts out in a year, thousands, hundreds of thousands in some cases, and the fact that Pilot has everything from a Kakuno to a gel pen to a your Namiki, beautiful Emperor and PC Urushi and PC 845. Pilot is an amazing company. We're very lucky that they care about us, that they care about providing tools for writers. And I should mention too, when I was talking about the nib sizes earlier, I forgot to mention the signature nib. The signature nib is its own unique thing, so you could go that direction. I forget if it costs extra or not. Maybe someone in the chat could let me know whether or not it costs extra for a signature nib. But that's an interesting take. I personally like the signature nib, but I don't think I would buy one. I like these in mediums or fines. I just feel like they're very flowy. They're very nice, precise writers, really nice feedback. But this pen is no longer the Jack Giant Killer pen. It's now taken its place amongst luxury pens, proudly, and still outguns many. It's still a great value proposition, but it's not the slam dunk it once was, I'm afraid to say. Okay, super chat from Vlog. I can't read that. 3611 Vlog Insro Stufrahers. 3611. That wasn't too bad. Thank you. €5 from you. Thank you so much. I tried so many expensive pens, but didn't like them. I'm going to put it up again. I didn't read it fast enough, my friend. Didn't like them. I yesterday got a Faber-Castell. Emotions, 3 of them. Wow, good job. I'm not sad. I don't have the money for the Pen Pal group. That's okay. I'm glad you're here. Please subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate the super chat too. Very lovely. Thank you. You're lovely, and I hope you love that Faber-Castell, which I've never used. I've never used one of those. I did touch one at the Empire State Pen Show. I may have tried it, but if I did, I don't remember it, and that's a bad sign. But I'll try to, a bad sign for me, not for them. I'll try to get my hands on one this year so that we can get it involved in the conversation of the channel. Thanks so much for the super chat. All the super chats are greatly appreciated. They help to keep the lights on. The lights are burning brightly tonight. You can post this pen. I am a reformed poster. Posting now feels very funny to me. I guess I'll have fewer scratches. I won't have that post ring on my barrels anymore. No more post rings for me. You know, I think as a pen too, this still is a fantastic gift, especially coming in the box with the ink in the little pillow. It's a nice pen to sort of signify an important event in your life. You finish your graduate degree. What a great way to see yourself into the working world. It's priced for that. A really nice gift for someone very, very special. I feel this is very precious, this pen. I bought this one myself with my own monies early on in my channel journey, not in my fountain pen journey. I had this fairly recently in regards, I've been into fountain pens for 30 years. And this one I bought around 4 years ago, right about when the channel started here on YouTube. And mostly because I was curious at that time about vac fills and how they worked. And so I had to have it. And I never regretted it. It's not a purchase that I regretted. I probably would think about it a bit more at 416. I have another super chat to recognize. So many lovely people tonight. Thank you. Ink Stained Adventures. That's a great title. You may have a YouTube channel with that. It's a great name. $5 super chat. I have a beautiful custom 823 with FA nib. Very nice. Picked up at a small pen shop in Tokyo. It's one of my most beloved pens. That's brilliant. What a great combination. And thank you so much for that super chat. That sounds absolutely amazing. I'd love to try that FA nib. I have a soft extra fine, which I don't like, on my Pilot Falcon, which I believe you saw. I put it up in a short. I don't like this pen. I'm going to be selling it soon. So if you want to own Hemingway Jones's By the Falcon for some reason, you'll have an opportunity. So, yes, check it out. I guess I'll put it on Instagram. But let me do I have show? I do have my show notes here. Yeah, you know, one of the other things too I have seen in some of the forums. Do you know anybody who chews their pens? Have you ever seen people who chew like ballpoints? Is there anyone who chews a fountain pen? There must be. If you could imagine something in the realm of human existence, somebody's doing it. But do you think there's somebody who's like, Pilot Custom 823 is all chewed at the top or the bottom? I can think of nothing more ghastly. But no offense if you do it. Yeah. You think so? I don't know. But the idea occurred to me, and I don't know. I can't imagine. I have seen ballpoint pens with the caps chewed, and not by animals. So, I've seen on some forums some folks that are saying it's the gold content. I don't think so. I don't mean to be contrary or controversial, but I don't think there's enough gold in here to warrant a 30% price increase. I just don't. It's a great excuse, but I don't think it's an actual reason. But, you know, the buyer profile for this pen changes at 416. It's no longer the slam dunk, aspirational, stretch a little bit more and get it fountain pen. It is now firmly in a luxury category. It's still as good as any fountain pen I can imagine. And I'd rather see you go for something like this and cherish it and use it over some of the more hyped and advertising supported fountain pens that are out there. Speaking of which, the Phoenician Scheme, I just watched it. It's a Wes Anderson movie. It was okay. It wasn't great. It had a lot of Montblanc fountain pens in it. It had, if memory serves, it had the Rouge with the little snake clip, and it had the 149. It did not have the Wes Anderson fountain pen, curiously enough. But you may see that in the future in one of my fountain pens in film videos. So that is very, very true. You know, this is amazing. This is probably one of the more straightforward lives I've done on a topic. I could probably recut this live as an actual video with some B-roll supporting it. I won't, but I could. I have done in the past. I don't think I have time. But that's not a bad idea. But we really kind of stuck on topic tonight, which I'm really proud of. And I'll say, you know, Pilot makes their decisions where and how they want to price these things. We have to be creative and crafty. I guess I would encourage you to buy it now while you can still find it for less than $416 if you're going to buy it. I really think we should make very informed, very well weighted decisions as to what our goals are. I am not buying fountain pens willy-nilly personally. I am buying things with intent. My curiosity still drives me. If I didn't own this, I would buy it, and I would buy it now because I wouldn't want to pay too much. It is brilliant, and you could do a lot worse with 400. But I do like it better at 3 and change. I just do. Hazel, my friend, how are you? $10 super chat. Thank you. 823 has been a favorite since I bought it for my birthday year. The ink capacity is amazing. I only refilled it twice last semester, writing for one of my busiest classics. 5 weeks for each fill. I believe it. Hi, Hazel. Thank you so much. Very kind. Hazel and I spent time together in Chicago for the Atlas Stationer sidewalk sale. Hazel is a fantastic person and a very valuable support to me on this channel. Thank you. So very, very cool. Oh, I see a chewer. Oh, it's Hazel. That's lovely. I do occasionally chew on my Platinum Preppy. I fully admit it. I'm sorry, Hazel. I do appreciate the money. Please don't gnaw on your PC 823. No, we do not gnaw on our Pilot Custom 823. We stroke it. Yeah, don't let me do Dr. Evil impressions anymore, okay? Okay, Blush and Blue. You genius, you. Great comment from Blush and Blue. Not the higher price, but what if they came out with a new gorgeous color? That would have been a better way to roll it out, don't you think? Yes, I agree. And an opaque color. Imagine if they did it in Urushi with a vac fill. I'd pay a lot for that, I think. I'd pay $800 easy if I had a 800 sitting around somewhere. If it was a Urushi. Can you imagine? With a vac fill? Wouldn't that be awesome? I agree. A nice opaque color. They should have rolled that out with the higher price. That would have softened the blow. I really think so. I want to mention a few things. One is, if you're here with me now and you're not subscribed, please do. I'd really appreciate it. And you evidently like this channel. So I'd appreciate you being on this journey with me. From the fountain pen, we go anywhere and everywhere, and we go to some amazing places. We're going to ballpoints this week, where I either ridicule them or I like them. We'll see. And I am going next week to the fountain pen of a psychopath, which I think you will enjoy. It's an interesting video. It's a unique take. It's the kind of content you will only find here on the Hemingway Jones channel. Hemingway Jones exclusive. I need graphics, but seriously, put a lot of work into it. Once you watch it, once you watch the first 30, 40 seconds, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And then you're going to go, I get it. I get what he's getting at. And I think you'll enjoy it. And then next week, too, Frankenstein, which is very cool. And, I was clicking around. I saw another YouTube channel called Vanessa Langton, which I had never watched before. And I commented because I thought she did a really nice job. She did a really, really good job. And it's not easy being out there, cutting edge in front of the camera. And she has a very nice connection with her audience. And I just was really impressed. So I thought I would pass that along. Go check her out if you have a moment and she comes up on your feed. I'm always disappointed when I only see hands. That's a little boring to me. I think I need a personal connection, which is why I always try to keep my mug somewhere on the face. My mug on my face. Yeah, that's important. My mug somewhere on the screen, both to have a connection so that you know me, and also so you know how I feel about what I'm doing. That's how you get the emotional connection. Like if I'm really passionate about a pen, or if I'm phoning it in, which I never do, but that's how you know. You see my face, even though my eyes are not very expressive because they're tiny. I have tiny little eyes. And these are them blown up in my glasses. Like without them, look at that. Tiny, tiny eyes. So, but I did want to point that out because I thought she did a fantastic job. I'm going to do a little housekeeping with Turtle Whiskers. HJ, what is the email address for the Pen Pal group? I lost it again. Email me and I'll guide you. So it's HemingwayJones@iCloud.com. Hemingway Jones. Super easy. And I'll be happy to help. Okay. I'm trying to think if I said everything. I didn't say. I wanted to talk a little bit about some TV shows that I watched lately, but that's going to have to wait for another night because, you know what I didn't do? We have a couple minutes. I do try to wrap these up in an hour. So I'm going to say something really quick. This is 416. I'm going back to Pilot Custom 823, but I wrote something very important down. It makes the vanishing point look a lot more attractive at $200, doesn't it? And it has a white one and a beautiful red one with gold trim. $192 for a Pilot vanishing point with that nice springy nib. You might not like the clip. That's perfectly acceptable, especially if you wrap your fingers around it. I get it. But gold nib, very expressive, very interesting, fantastic design. Now half the price. Also, Pilot Custom, not Pilot Custom, forgive me. Pilot E95. Oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank? You know the one, the Pilot Elite. Another pen, a fraction of the price, starts to look very, very attractive. So consider this, as Michael Stipe would say, consider this, okay? My mandolin's over there. I could do it, but I'm not going to. And I also want to say one thing where everyone is in a lot of trouble. Brendan Schmidt, my brother at Atlas, is sending me a care package, and I saw the packing slip. So there's some new pens coming for me to review, which I think you'll love. But where you're in trouble is he's sending me the ink Crazy Train. And yes, I do know how to play it on guitar. I'm not a very good guitarist, but I can play that, sort of. Yes, that may be in a video very, very soon. Crazy Train. Tribute to Ozzy. Love Ozzy. So that'll be a lot of fun. Blush and Blue loves the Vanishing Point. So there you have it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? We're at the end of a long journey. We spoke all about the Pilot Custom 823, how it now fits in the hierarchy. Oh, Jesus. Pardon the language. Lucas, my friend, slipping in a super chat right under the bell, $4.99. Thank you so much. If you want to join the Hemingway Jones Discord, I put a post in the community tab on YouTube with a link. Thank you, Lucas, my friend. Discord is something I'm trying to get more active with. I'm a little lost over there. So that's the only reason why I'm not over there much. I'm just lost. I don't know how to post. I don't know how to attach photos. I tried to attach a photo. It told me it was too big. I was lost. So I need help. Help me. Okay. So it was a great night. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to do more of these. Really packed with information, kind of more linear content live, where I can share with you things that are happening quickly. I thought of making this into a regular YouTube video, but it would have come out in March, and that's too late. The live show gives me an opportunity each week to talk to you directly about things happening in the fountain pen community. This is important. It changes everything. How much it changes is something yet to be decided, but I'm glad we had an opportunity to speak about it. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for being here. Big hugs. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much for all your love and support of the channel. It's just life-changing, and thank you. I hope I provide some information and entertainment for you on a weekly basis. So thanks again. I'll see you soon. I promise you, this Thursday, with a fountain pen expert tries ballpoint pens. So till then, take care, and I'll see you further up the road.